Okay, hello. Well, I see this problem going on through the Christian community is that they keep they keep going under the law of Moses. So they constantly feel unrighteous, unjustified, and they're always crying out to the Lord to for mercy, which I think is good, but I think we need to constantly, as Romans 12:1-2 says, to renew your mind that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So, we have to learn to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God, which is our reasonable service. And I'm seeing that not many people are doing that, which is good and acceptable, because they're actually starting to preach something different, which is not what the gospel is. You see, because they're trying to preach they're starting to calling themselves sinners, and they're preaching, and I think that's completely wrong, because you can't be a saint and a sinner at the same time. Um, unless you unless you're a saint, you can't be a saint and sinner at the same time. You see, I'm gonna read Acts 13:38, part of it. It says, "Through Jesus, the forgiveness of sins is proclaimed to you, and through him, everyone who believes is free from blame, from which you cannot be freed through the law of Moses." So you see, I'm seeing that there's a lot of people who are being blamed. It's because they're putting themselves back under the law of Moses, so they consider themselves sinners again by going back to the law of Moses. So they're nothing different from Jews, and pretty much well as stone me as what some people call blasphemy, because I'm declaring myself sinless and holy and acceptable to God, which is something that the Jews saw as blasphemy, which is why they tried to stone him, and they stoned the apostles. So, yeah, the world pretty much is a place of blame, and I see many Christians who are partaking part of the world. They're constantly in blame. They're blaming themselves. They're blaming others, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, and through the process of renewing our minds, it's we have to learn to forgive others. We have to learn to be merciful unto others. We have to be graceful. You know, that's being acceptable and holy. If we keep being unforgiven, if we, I mean, even in the way we confront others, make sure that it's appropriate. I mean, we do this we do this out of love. I mean, like I always say, we do it out of love, and not just love for God, but love for others, because we are we're commanded to love each other. I mean, and the law of Moses, I mean, that's part of the law of Moses, but we we're not under it. We're the fulfillment of it. So we preach, we teach through love, because of love, for God and for others. So that's all I have to say regarding that. We can't be perfect, as I said before, and we can't be sinless. We can't be holy as our Father is holy. It's simple. It's easy. Just have faith, and through faith you are justified. Your works, well, if you have your faith with you, you start seeing how you start doing these beautiful things in the name of Jesus that you never thought you could do. And it could be something that it doesn't have to be miraculous things. Sometimes it could be something simple like charity, like just giving charity to some random person or to someone who some out in the streets. I mean, stuff like that, because we have to remember that Jesus said that those who are going to cry out, Lord, Lord, have I not done this and that, great wonders? And he said, get away from me, you evildoers. Well, those are the people that didn't give $1 to that homeless person, or didn't feed, or didn't give charity when they could. I mean, I'm not trying to put blame on you right now. I'm just saying that whenever you have a chance to do good, do it, because you don't want to have that guilty conscience in your head. Feel bad about it. Okay? So, feed the homeless, care about them, be compassionate, love them. There are many reasons not to love somebody, because we could come up with that, but we have to remember that the one reason we love everybody is because God loved us, and that love we have to share it, and we should be sharing it if we're saved. Okay? Like I said, I'm not trying to put blame on anybody, but it's just love that speaks, and it's love that what we should be doing. So be good to everyone. You know, as the disciple does say, to try to please man and God. So I know many people say we're not to please men, but it does say to please men. And conform yourselves, and act in an appropriate way. Because I've seen like open air preachers who completely give themselves a bad name. I mean, I completely disagree with some of their methods, and some of their teachings I do not agree with either. But it could be their teachings can be confusing because they're trying to combine the law, being under the law, and being justified at the same, and it's not possible to be under the law, but they're imputing sin in people, and they kind of forget to show them that through Jesus that sin is taken. They make it harder than it is, because pretty much Acts 13:38 is how they preached back then. Through Jesus, the forgiveness of sin is proclaimed to you, and through him, everyone who believes is free from all sins, from which you cannot be freed through the law of Moses. So, when open air preachers are preaching the law of Moses, one thing they're not doing is preaching Jesus. They're preaching the law of Moses. And when you preach the law of Moses, you're pretty much teaching slavery. So, stay away from those kind of people. Alright? That's my advice to you. Stay away from teachers of the law, because they will impute sin in you, try to find blame in you, and such people are not justified themselves. They're sinners themselves. And a sinner, a blind man cannot lead. We know that. So that's all I have to say. Alright, God bless, and I hope something I said helped you out. Or, alright, that's all.